Hi there. I think it's time for a little experiment today, and what I've been looking at is utilizing some of the techniques within the CHOB idea, but incorporating the variable green up process. So what I've done here is simply create a strategy that takes the initial covering trade, from which I can choose my selection, have that go in, and the green up process, once that cover bet is matched, is based on whatever that free bet value is. So the bigger the odds that I take initially, the greater the green up position. Now I've just called it racing CHOB with 25% variable green up, simply because that's what those are the two strategies that are combined, but it's not strictly speaking a CHOB. But for the life of me, I can't think of another acronym, so we'll leave it like that for the moment. Answers on a postcard, please. The other thing to note is that the cover bet is not at 25%. It's at 15%. Again, that's something that is open to experimentation to see what might be optimum. All I'm really trying to do here is create a mechanism where I get the cover taken, so I've got a nice free bet, and the green up position will vary depending on the value of that free bet. So we're just coming up to the race at Salisbury here. I'll hang fire till we start loading, but the selection will be Grandfather Tom. Okay, just placing the bet on Grandfather Tom, so you'll see that I've gone in at 12.5. Hopefully get out at 10.5 with my free bet. So that's going to be £200 as a free bet on Grandfather Tom. Now, based on that, the variable greening up for 200, you'll see that we should be greening up for around about 50 to 52 pounds in this particular example. Also notice that if my odds were much higher and if the free bet was more than 200, it will always try to green up for the 50 pounds thereabouts. Okay, we'll just sit tight and see if this actually hits the covering bet first. Right, so that's a cover bet taken, so it's going to look to try and green up based on 196. That's of course after commission is taken into account. It doesn't look like it's going to drop though, so that has been a successful cover bet, but the green up process hasn't kicked in. So what I'm going to do is I'll carry on for much of this afternoon doing this, and I'll get back to you as and when anything exciting happens. Hi there. Just completed this race as part of the chobbing with variable green up experiment, and you'll see a rather strange result. My selection, equity law, went in at 1.85. The cover bet was taken at 1.57. All well and good. However, I've wound up with a loss on equity law despite the fact that it went on to win. So what happened there? Although this isn't part of this video, it gives me a brief option of letting you see how to go about troubleshooting something. The clue here is that I am in simulation mode. And also notice, if I switch to the automation tab, that the green up all option cancels any outstanding bets. That's the first thing to notice. Secondly, if I go up to and open up the options dialog and we go to the log, let me just drag this across, it's opened up in another window. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. These are the events that have been recorded by Fairbot as part of the process. So let me just scan through this to find what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're on the 310 Novice Stakes at Salisbury, right? So that's where we're changed to the market. That's where the strategy was assigned to the market. That's where it was added to the market watch list. Then a single bet was placed, consisting of the control bet at odds of 1.01. That's used by the green up process. We then have a place of trade. So this is me selecting my runner, which was equity law. So you'll see there, back bet of £100 at 1.85, lay bet of £100 at 1.57. As part of that process, the offset bet is placed at 1.57, and you'll see there it's entirely unmatched. So once that bet there was taken, the offset bet becomes an actual bet in the market, albeit I'm in simulation mode, remember, but it's entirely unmatched. So as the race progresses and the odds fall, ultimately this bet here gets matched. So a lay bet of £100 at 1.57, not cancelled, an error taken or elapsed. Why was that? That was because this bet here, the green up all bet, also kicked in, and you can see how the timings there, 3:13 and 3:13:17 seconds, they were virtually on top of each other. So what actually happened there was the cancelled bet, or should I say, more specifically, the odds dropped so quickly that the offset bet wasn't taken. In other words, keep in mind in simulation mode, Fairbot has to estimate when that offset bet gets taken. So what's happened in that case is that Fairbot hasn't decided if that offset bet has been taken by the time the green up bet kicks in and cancels any outstanding unmatched bets. So what actually happened was the green up process, when it was triggered, the lay bet required was based on the fact that that offset bet hadn't been taken. In other words, the green up, if I can just get that out of the way and that out of the way, the green up was for £123. In other words, it didn't know about this bet here. The outstanding bet in the market was the back bet. So it put in a bigger lay than it needed to. Then, of course, Fairbot decided that this bet had in actual fact been taken. So in other words, there was more lays put into the market than need be. And that's happened because of the way I have the green up process configured, combined with the fact I'm in simulation mode. It would have been different if I'd been in real mode and the offset bet was actually live in the market, because as soon as the odds passed through that, that money would be taken. That's not to say I can guarantee that this wouldn't happen in real mode, and there is ways around it. I have done it in other strategies. I just simply haven't done it in here because I'd need to do it in every single entry in here. But that's what's happened. So it's a combination of being in simulation mode and the odds dropping so quickly, and Fairbot taking a little bit of time to decide whether the offset bet was taken or not. So a way around that is to actually switch off the green up all option to cancel outstanding bets, and instead have a requirement in here that says there shouldn't be any bets in the market, any unmatched bets in the market, and it won't green up until such times as those are cleared. But that'll take me a while to put all those in, as you can imagine. So a bit of a digression from this video, and I think I'll probably wind up this video here, and we'll carry on in part 2 with the actual experiment. But it's a good opportunity to let you see what happened and how you need to go about troubleshooting something when you think something has gone awry with your strategy. In this case, as I say, I'm in simulation mode. Even if it was in the real world, no major loss, but it's something perhaps you need to consider. And I'll do a separate video on how to prevent that happening. Okay, I'll catch you in part 2. Cheers, guys.